Hi there, welcome to the Cardiff International Arena as we bring you highlights of the final of the World Pool Championship 2003. Alex Pagulayan from Canada against Thorsten Hohmann of Germany. Let's get straight to the action.
Well, it all comes down to this one match to determine the World Championship. Both men have been playing so sharp this week. These guys came through the group stages ranked #1 for Alex and #7 for Torsten out of 128 players. Both of them on their A game. This should be a pick'em, Steve.
Yes, and Mr. Quiet has got off to an absolute corker of a start. There's a name to strike fear into the heart of your opponent.
I think Ralph should maybe stick with playing pool and leave the nicknames to someone else. I can see that. Who are you playing tonight? I'm scared to death. I'm playing Mr. Quiet. Yeah.
Captain Charisma. That was my nickname, probably. Making sure he brings the cue ball out into open table.
I'm not sure he got there.
Well, he's a little bit tight on it. He'd like to have been a little bit further over. The 5-7 is a combination shot, so he must be able to make the 3 and then play the combination. That was what would have been on his mind.
No, he didn't get there.
From the overhead, it looks like it's a possibility. It would be suicidal to attempt to swerve round. Could he jump round? Could he jump over the 6?
I don't like it because he'd be so high in the air to get over the 6. He might bounce right on over the 3. I think he's going to try and cross the 3 cross corner.
He won't be on the 5 should he do this. So.
Oh, he had to kick at it.
Wow. He couldn't even see it enough to cut it.
There's the girlfriend of Thorsten Hohmann.
Not the one on the left. The one in the middle.
The one in the middle.
All right, okay.
And, you know, Steve, this is so close. This World Championship could go down to the guy who gets a few rolls. The one whose opponent rolls up and safes himself like that. And
well, it always happens in this game of 9-ball that the last turn of the ball can sometimes affect a rack, and the rolls so far in this tournament have, I suppose, gone with Alex Pagulayan against Rodney Morris. Rodney Morris was called a foul in the last rack for putting his cue on the table, letting go of it, and being penalised for using it as a measuring device. And then I think Alex Pagulayan in his match after that was playing a shot, and the young lad ran out of the crowd and got near the table, and he was allowed to play the shot again. And then against Tony Drago, Tony adamant that he hadn't touched the 8-ball, and that was the last time Tony came to the table. So things have gone Alex Pagulayan's way, but we saw Francisco Bustamante within one rack of beating Thorsten and missing what was a very easy and simple 5 for Francisco. So you get breaks in different ways. If your opponent misses a doddle of a shot, that can be just as fortunate.
we hear it so often from champions that you have to be lucky as well as good to take down one of these major titles. But right now they're concentrating on nothing but their skill.
Well, once again, he looks like he can only see half of this 3-ball. Would love to get it behind the 8, but it's dangerous. Could go in off in the corner pocket. There's an element of danger in this. Well, he's stuck it up, but what he hasn't done is left Pagulayan an obvious positional shot. Alex Pagulayan can pot this ball in the middle pocket, not a certainty.
And without too much trouble, he can get position on the 5 where he does not have to play the combination. He can play the 5 right back up in the corner pocket, straight on. Oh, but he has to make the 3, and he's failed in that attempt.
That was the problem, really. He wasn't on the 5. I suppose he was playing the 5 as a bank shot. but it wasn't the easiest of pots, and he'll be fortunate to have got away with that. Speculated on the bank shot, I feel there. There was at one stage the possibility of that going in off the 8 ball. At least I think he speculated on the bank shot. And once again, this 3 ball won't go anywhere near a simple pot.
This is a tough way to get a tournament started.
You know, you can't. Way.
But neither player having the opportunity to get comfortable, get in stroke.
Clever, clever shot from Pagulayan. He knows full well. He knows full well the safe areas on a table. Even if the 8 ball hadn't been there, that was probably the safety shot to play. Just to play to a side rail and leave your opponent a cut, if anything, all the way up the rail. This has got to be played to perfection as well. Barely moving the 3, hoping not to leave an edge. Don't think he'll play it, but up and down has a fairly good chance of knocking the 3 in, but then he wouldn't be at all on the 5, so he can't really even speculate on going up and down the table unless he feels there's not much else he can do.
What Steve is mentioning is a 16-foot shot,
I don't think
which he's going to probably avoid if he can.
But this has possibility.
Well shot. Ball in hand.
Well, there's the ball off. Hope it hasn't been damaged by some of the metal work. Well, he must have had some topspin on the ball there, and the topspin has actually climbed up the cushion rail, and well, it's still not absolutely perfect for Thorsten Hohmann, but he's got ball in hand, and usually that means end of rack. But as you can see, he's got to put it in quite a tricky position there. Pagulayan was forced to play with speed. He couldn't just roll into that ball. He would have probably left roughly the same shot. So try to get distance between the balls.
Well, as Steve mentioned, it's not making the pot here that's critical. It's getting shape on that 5 ball. That's the orange ball on the right-hand side of your screen.
And he'd love to be able to play this 5 into the top corner pocket, as you can see on our screens. And there he goes. Beautifully executed top spin. He had to put those balls quite close together. Difficult to get the run through.
That done, the work should be over for this rack, and Torsten should be able to look forward to taking the first point to his side of the table. What a dream week for this young man. As Suke had said, he's not won major tournaments in the past. This is his first year as the German national champion, but he's matured very quickly here this week.
Yes, and I think what he's done, although we obviously haven't seen too much of him on the match table, what he's done is he's taken his chances. I think he's potted most of the important balls he's gone for. Never in trouble in his group. And has a very, very solid cue action to back up the determination that gives him that first rack. I think it's too tough to pot the ball after Masse, and you'd have to clip it so thin with the wrong spin on the ball.
Really would. He's gone for the kick.
I shouldn't think a hard kick here, just controlled. Or called it far too thick. And the first mistake from Hohmann. What can Pagulayan do? Wanted to catch that less than quarter ball and called it about a half ball in the end.
Well, Pagulayan with an opportunity here. We're told that Alex, by the way, has put some blue dye in his black hair to give it a little sheen on the top.
Yes, he's got a bit of blue tint in there. Just wanted to blend in with the set.
Well, Blue hair, young men and old ladies.
He's got a little sunbed lounger down there in the corner that you can lay on, should he get a chance. It's the biggest towel I've seen, apart from Earl's.
Well, one end of that towel will be damp, the other end dry. He's measuring, I would think, the angle that the 6 ball is going to, I mean, the cue ball is going to take off of the 5 to get to the 6.
Well, there aren't really any problems here other than perhaps he still hasn't settled down. He's just steadying himself. This is an obvious run out that a pool player would play without thinking on a daily basis. Never leave yourself dead straight unless you can help it on a 9-ball pool table, because you cannot run through. You'll usually get caught up in the pocket if you try to run through, and screwing straight back, well, that's a harder shot than drawing across the table with a bit of stun. But he's got a nice angle to pull the cue ball across the table. Can he go behind the 9, or does he draw across the face of the 9?
Gone behind it, and he's avoided the traffic to come out in the clear. He would have liked to have been just a little further to the left, but this is going to do fine because he can just use a stop shot here and take the 7 with the cue ball running across the table, as Steve has described, a stun shot.
And what he will try and do is to make sure he leaves himself not too straight on this 8 ball, so he can then play from the middle of the table. Bit further possibly, but now you can just cut the 8 in with a little bit of left hand spin and bring the cue ball across to where his arm is now, taking the middle pocket out of the equation and avoiding scratching in the corner pockets as well. Ideally placed. Watch Pagulayan, 4 stone dripping wet. Watch him launch himself into this shot. That is a superb break.
Unbelievable the way that cue ball just squatted right where he hit the rack.
Oh, he's not on it.
No, he very unfortunate. He deserved a better opening shot than this, because this break was gorgeous. Take a look at the white ball.
Superb control of the cue ball, no side spin whatsoever, planted it dead in the middle. That's all you can possibly ask for from a break-off, other than the possibilities that this 3 has covered up the 2. Perhaps it doesn't, though.
Boy, he's risking. Boy, that's so thin by the 3 if this 2 ball goes at all. It doesn't. Good safety, though, Steve. He would have liked for that cue ball to come up and tuck behind the 8, but this is going to do just fine. He's hidden the 2 behind the 6 ball, and now Thorsten is looking at a kick that he has to worry about. There's no easy place to duck.
As you can see, he can come off the cushion first and clip the blue 2, but I doubt that he can stop it going over the corner pocket. And I don't think the cue ball, well, if he could clip off there, perhaps the cue ball could go down on the inside route between the 6 and the 7, brown 7, and perhaps somehow get safe. Looks like that's what he's trying. Going to try and use the 3 and the 7, the red 3 and the brown 7 as snookering balls. This requires a bit of luck, I think. Well, we know he couldn't really do that. It was such a hard shot to play.
Yeah, and he's left Alex a possibility here now.
Caught too much of the 2 ball there.
If you'll notice, so far in the safety play, Alex is winning these wars, and that can put a whole lot of scoring over on his side.
It doesn't take much to win that war, and sometimes it can be just a fraction of luck. But it is good for the soul if you can win those tight racks. He would have liked to have left himself a bit straighter on this 3 into the corner pocket. Don't expect him, I don't think, to play this in the middle.
Well, that was played with a very comfortable stick. He went right in the heart of the pocket. The stroke was gorgeous.
You may wonder why he chose that instead of the middle pocket. Well, once again, those corner points on the middle pockets make the middle pockets so difficult to judge. You've only just got to catch the first point and you miss the shot. Drawing the 4-ball back up the table.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, that was
Just
the first.
just when we brag on him, the shot goes awry, and he's left Thorsten right over the hole. Here's a look. You can see he seemed to hit it good, but it bounced.
Okay, well, he had a bit of side spin on that ball, and as you can see what happened to the 4-ball, the chalk on the ball has interacted, and the side spin has twisted the 4-ball off course there. I didn't think he put a great hit on the ball. It looked a bit of a jab, but even so, it may have been the reason why he missed that pot. It was the chalk dust on the ball.
You often see Earl Strickland clean the balls even during a match to avoid that very thing.
You don't see the pool players doing it so much. I mean, the balls themselves are heavier and they can sometimes withstand the kick, as we call it in snooker. And also, of course, the pockets are bigger and you usually get away with it. But when you're spinning balls as well, obviously the chalk acts as a gripping device, and that can spin the ball off course, let alone jump it up in the air. I'm sure as the game gets more and more important worldwide, you'll see more and more players having the ball cleaned. It happened in the snooker world. So much so it got on people's nerves in the end, but it is important. And Hohmann makes light work of the few balls he was left.
And it's tough on the 1.
Well, at the moment, they're both making tremendous breaks, but nobody's getting a break with the 1. That 1 looking like it was going towards the corner pocket. Collision with the 3. Ends up in the middle of the cushion. What a shot that was.
That was unbelievable. The crowd reacting to that shot. Extremely thin cut on the 1. Look at this.
Shot of the competition. If ever one shot was proof that you are ready to win this tournament, that was the one. I'm telling you, that was a massive, massive shot. Complete knowledge of the angles. And that would have been a body blow to Pagulayan, who must have thought he wouldn't dare go for the 1.
A great shot, and Torsten now just has to retain his focus through the rest of this rack, and it's laid out there before him. 5-ball into the corner, 6-ball in the other corner. The 7 and 9 await.
Just getting the balance right of aggression and defense at this game is also important. We saw Thorsten biding his time early on, trying to force an error from Pagulayan. It didn't work. Well, I think there would have been a lot of pool players who would have bet money that Hohmann would have tried some form of safety there. What a marvellous shot to go 5-2, excuse me. And he's got the break off, and as you mentioned, Jerry, if you can get the break going and get a shot on the 1, a bit easier than that one. No spin on that cue ball at all needed. And he just got a fraction more than he wanted. Can he come up well on the 1? It's poked its nose out and he has a shot on it. But that cue ball is further away than he wanted. And there is a disadvantage in losing. Look at that cue bend.
Well, he's got to go aggressive here, I think, Steve, if he can actually see that. And I do believe he can.
Small problem. The 5-ball, which is next, is down the bottom of the table. He has to play it slow. Played it slow and to perfection. Apologies. Okay, thanks very much, Jerry, for pointing out but the blue 2 is still on the table. For those of you that know the game of 9-ball, lowest ball on the table has to be hit first.
He'll go 2 rails, come out to mid-table again for the 6 ball. This is a middle table run here. If he could bring that cue ball right back to there on every shot, he'd be fine. Except for the 9 ball, of course. He wants to be closer for that.
Little tip if you're commentating on any 9-ball pool in the future at home, if you get the chance, always look at the bottom of the screen and you'll see the order of the balls that's left. There, just 2 balls left now at the bottom of our screen. The 8 and the 9. Does this go easily into the middle pocket? The reason why he's a bit upset with this is I think he probably played for the 8 down into the corner. Now he's going to have to play very slowly into the middle and then leave himself a bit further away from the 9. Oh no, he decided he didn't like that and to come over the other side of the table.
Well, that played with authority was a bit risky because we've seen these faces throw balls right back out on the table again. But it sure worked well. Now Pagulayan is now within 2 small games of Thorsten Hohmann. And momentum's rolling on his side of the table.
Ralph Suke in the crowd watching. Christian Reimering there as well. Oh, we've got a nasty kick on that.
He nearly lost the cue ball in the side pocket, but it spun off both noses of the pocket. And now he's got pretty good layout here, Steve. I think he's got to be very happy with this shape.
Well, he's been given a chance to get back into this match, and he's taken it. It was looking all Hohmann a couple of racks ago, and we know full well from watching the whole of this week how this game can turn around. But it did look like Hohmann was totally in control. He's experienced enough to know this game swings violently. You just got to mind your work.
Yeah, but he's totally in control of his chair right now, and that's a nasty place to be when your arm is growing cold.
But he's patient. He'll be waiting his next chance, and it always seems at this game it's not that long before you get another chance, even though with winner break you can be sitting cold for a while when the pressure's really on, especially in the final, this EmpirePoker.com World Pool Championship. Sometimes the break-offs more important, you fractionally miss them and end up presenting your opponent with perhaps a dry break, a ball doesn't go in.
Well, putting together consecutive racks has got to be a good feeling for Alex. He was pretty well behind earlier, and now he's bringing this match very close. Taking those 2 balls off the table will bring him within just 1 game of Torsten, and he'll have the break. So great opportunity to draw us even.
A little bit more work to do with this shot than he would have liked. Strong draw shot, bring it across the table.
The sharp eyes of Alex Pagulayan command a skilled arm. And he's gone through a couple of racks here.
There is the possibility of a cut. I wonder if he's tempting him to say, well, okay, if you don't play this shot, I'm going to try and cut it in.
Whoa, what a cut shot that was. The crowd has put their hands together for that cut.
It's got to be considered an error by Hohmann to have left. Well, was it just a game of cat and mouse? You know, tempting one player to be brave enough. It's gone wrong whichever way. If he knew what he was doing, Jerry, okay, fair enough. But if he just misjudged where he was leaving it, it's an error. You're allowed to tempt your opponent and ask him, is he a braver man than you?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm very impressed with both of these. Oh, no. Alex has bobbled the 4-ball into the side pocket, and he is.
Just see how these points of the middle pocket are so cruel. Watch this. It was okay, it was in, but how cruel are those middle pockets? They're far tighter in comparison in relation to the corner pockets than on a snooker table, where the middle pockets receive balls at angles much easier and perhaps are more balanced. These are very cruel, tight middle pockets sometimes.
Yeah, if you nip the nose, it's tragedy. Now, Thorsten does have to move slightly around the 7-ball, but I don't see that being a problem at all.
No, he can retain position on the 6. Missable, I suppose. He's left himself betwixt and between. Would like to be ramming this 6 into the corner and stunning dead, but he's got a bit more of an angle. Does he play the cut into the middle pocket, bringing the cue ball up and down the table for an easy 7?
Well, you know, thus far, every time Alex has given Thorsten an opportunity like this, every time he's brought him to the table, Thorsten's taken it home.
Yeah, Thorsten has not made any glaring potting errors.
Right in the middle of the side pocket, and the cue ball on a string comes perfectly out for the 7. There's Pagulayan reacting to his error.
Well, it wasn't that hard a pot into the middle pocket. Obviously, rolling balls slowly. You can't guarantee that the balls stay on line. Probably easier in some ways to keep a 9-ball pool table level than a snooker table. The surface area much larger. 3 separate slates for a 9-ball pool table. 5 separate slates for a snooker table.
Right down the rail. And Thorsten Hohmann needs this 9-ball in the corner to make it 8-5 and reestablish a bit of a lead. Cue ball goes down into the side pocket. Thorsten can't believe it.
Big let off. Can't go through a whole match without making some form of breaking error.
Well, that's the error we've seen all week on this table. If you're going to scratch, it's going to happen in the side pocket unless you get a crazy kick off of another ball. Oh, he needs that to stop, and it does. Now back and forth across the table with draw for the 3-ball.
Once again, avoiding the 7. Is he going to be playing this pink 4 into the middle pocket again? He may be able to play and line up position for the corner. But in running through this, I think he probably will be playing the pink 4 into the middle. I doubt very much if from this position he'll roll the pink 4 so slowly, should he be left with that shot. Well, a bit of hesitancy. I know that's easy for me to say, but...
Well, he was looking at the rest of the balls on the table. I don't think he was concerned with this shot. I think he's already made his decision for this shot. And he's decided to take the 4 in the same corner as he took the 3. That does make getting on the 5 possibly a little bit easier, except now the brown 7 looms in the path of his draw. He's got to go around behind that 7-ball. Oh, he went in front.
I wonder if he played that 4-ball in such a way that he didn't have to play the same shot again. The 4 in the middle. Well, there isn't any problem here. He's the wrong side of the 5 for the green 6, but he can just collide with the 8. Leave himself a cut into the middle pocket.
And that actually helps make the 8-ball shot a little bit easier. He'll go 2 to 3 rails now for position on the 7. And he would have liked to have had a little more pace on that shot, but again, no hill for a stepper here.
What was that?
What?
That last saying.
No hill for a stepper.
A stipper? A stepper?
Stepper, someone who walks well, you know. So it's no hill.
For a stepper.
It's an easy job.
I understand.
Of course you do. The 9-ball down on Alex Pagulayan's stick tip. And he now trails by 2 games, 6-8, crawling ever closer.
They both got superb break-offs and both leave that cue ball on the table, leave the cue tip on the table, drive it through the ball. We've seen some pool players, their cue wildly flashing around in the air, like another great Canadian player who's been here for a number of years, sadly not here this year. The Dancing Bear, remember him?
Alain Martel.
Alain Martel, his cue was like the Mark of Zorro in the end, flashing around on the table.
I saw Alain just 2 weeks ago, and he said they're going to have to change his nickname. It's now the Dancing Bear. He's going to lose enough weight to where they have to call him the Dancing Mouse.
I think perhaps a little bit of ill health is perhaps, so we wish him well if he's watching. I don't know if that was exactly right. I can't remember if he's not feeling that great. Perhaps my information's wrong. He just didn't fancy coming over.
No, he was fine a couple of weeks ago. It was a I think it's really just the way the rankings fell in Canada this year.
No, apologies there, Alain. Great chess player. If you're watching and it's live in Canada, hello, mate. Sorry to say you were not feeling well when you were. So many great players from around the world. So many players wanting to get into this World Championship now who can't. And there are only 128 spots available, and you can imagine with the pictures being beamed around the world to over 40 nations, I'm thinking maybe even 60 nations, everybody's saying, I want a place in the World Championships at Cardiff, get me in there. Obviously every association has a certain amount of spots depending upon the strength of that nation. Obviously the Philippines and America getting many spots.
Meanwhile, Pagulayan is pushed out, and he's presented this situation to Torsten, and we'll see how he likes it.
Well, the last mistake Hohmann made was a push out. Pagulayan capitalized on that. Pagulayan now asking the question of Hohmann, are you going to put me back in?
He thinks he's going to be put back in, or he'd be sitting down.
Yeah, I don't think he can get back to his chair without putting Hohmann off. There's no way back without disturbing his space around the table. So, oh, he's back in his chair. Sorry, I've lost perspective there. I thought that was from the corner. So obviously the problem here is that should he put Pagulayan back in, can Pagulayan extricate a safety? I'm not too sure he can.
Well, this is such a ticklish situation. You don't want to put the other guy back in and then have him hand you your head.
The problem is you can't just roll onto the 1 and hide it behind the 5, because remember the rule. After contact with the object ball, which is the 1 ball in this situation, a ball must hit a cushion. So you can't just dolly onto the side cushion and then the 1 ball goes behind the 5. You've got to drive a ball, could be the cue ball, could be another ball, to a cushion. But he's choosing to play this shot, and I think that was a mistake that's gone right.
Wow. What a roll at a critical moment. Look at this. No way he could have planned that kiss off the 2 ball that sent
wow.
the 1 ball on the correct path for the for the pot. Whoa.
Is that a sort of form of apology? He was trying to push it through the gap, and he just caught the blue too, but excellent shot there.
You have to take your rolls when you can get them, and that one could be quite critical. He was in such a tough position.
Well, he must have felt there was a good chance that Pagulayan could have played that escape the same way and gone through the gap and left him snookered. So he felt he had the need to play that shot himself. Pagulayan will feel a bit aggrieved. I know that.
There's Mr. Hohmann's girlfriend. She's appears to be quite involved in this match.
You could say that. The look of fear on the face. I would imagine. I have a feeling that the lady next to her is possibly her mother as well. I don't know for sure. Ooh, ooh. Yes, well, that'll do. Oh, it's going in. It's going in the middle.
Oh, that'll work. That'll work.
There's a bit of praying done by the lady on the left. Could well be Mrs. Hohmann. We don't know. Could be Thorsten's mother. I think she looks very proud. I don't know. Anyway, we're only guessing, aren't we? Was she clapping in German then?
Yes. The Dosh clap. Thorsten Hohmann about to take us to a 9-6 score line.
But Sid, as well as Torsten has been breaking off in this, he just isn't pulling away. He's had a 2-3 rack lead a couple times now in this, but he's just not opening up that real comfort zone that he'd like to see. And he finds himself with another chance to do just that.
An interesting chat with the great Ralph Souquet, who's got funny mixed feelings about this lad's success. Ralph thinks, always the realist, that his Mosconi Cup place might be in jeopardy if Hohmann whistles through to become world champion. Because Solly Wortmann is the European captain, he's German. This lad's from Germany, and Ralph doesn't think maybe 3 Germans would be in the team. So all sorts of mini dramas and subplots.
If he keeps playing like this, Sid, it's going to be pretty hard to leave him off that Mosconi Cup team for Europe. Doesn't quite have enough angle on this 2 to get on the 3 ideally. He's going to have to punch this in with a little bit more pace and get that cue ball off that right-hand side cushion.
And talking about Ralph, remember this lad had an 11-0 victory in racks over Souquet. To his credit, he is some operator. Spent 5 years in the army and fitness fanatic, very cool customer, has quickly worked out the pace of this table.
Slightly hampered queuing here though. Straight on this 4, so he's not going to be able to get ideal position to the 6, but you can see he's bridging right over the 7 as well. I noticed in his earlier matches that he started them all very quickly out of the gate like a whippet, and it was closing him out that you started to see the signs of nerves. Well, we're halfway through this one. This is a pretty testy little shot he's looking at on the 6 here.
From a small village near Frankfurt called Fulda. It's down the road from Brunswick. And he's looking a class act against the mercurial Pagulayan. A lot of our friends in the Philippines will be glued to this, even though it's the middle of the night there. Alex has just signed up sponsorship with a Filipino company and has still a lot of connections with that country. But he looks like being on the receiving end of a moment of a 10-6 scoreline.
And 10-6 it is. Thorsten Hohmann, 4 racks in front now. It's a race to 17 for the world crown. It's already gone a couple times to Germany. Oliver Ortmann and Ralph Souquet, most notably. Is Thorsten Hohmann, is his son going to be rising on the German horizon?
Beat Bustamante 11-10. I was commentating on that one, and Bustamante made a fatal mistake in the last rack. He has looked in great
Rack
shape.
17, Thorsten Hohmann to break.
He's got
leading
this
by 10
break
racks
off.
to 6.
Off to a tee.
Look at his face, Sid. Even sat in his chair. He is so zoned in right now. He's saving it all for the table.
Hitman using Explosive bullets on little Alex, the killer pixie.
Hasn't landed on the 2. Not ideally. Cue ball right up close to it. So it's going to be run for cover here for Torsten. And his choice of colors with which to hide behind. It does pass into that pocket, but with the cue ball so close, that would be virtually impossible to see him taking that on.
So where do you like the hide, Jim? Where's the weeds?
Well, it looks like he can flick off that 2, at least this way, Sid, and just play the cue ball off that side cushion in behind the 9. That's one option. It's always a personal preference. He also could go the other way, flick off it and go in behind the 3. So just depends how he feels.
Well, some time ago, Time magazine said, "I've seen the future of rock and roll," and it is Springsteen. You're now seeing the future of bull in these two. 25-year-old Pagulayan and 24-year-old Hohmann. Top of the bunch here in Cardiff in the World Final.
128 started, and only 2 remain. An easy kick shot for Alex here. This will be with control. He'll try and hit the bottom half as he looks. No, that wasn't the sort of contact Alex was looking for, but he hasn't done too bad.
Thank you.
Killer Pixie better known on the international scene in the US Open. About just under a year ago, lost 13-11 in a cracker to the great Suke.
Yes, I actually was there for that final, working it for a local network, and what a match that proved to be. Ralph Suke even said at the top of the program that Alex has more experience on this stage, but Hohmann, someone forgot to tell him that experience was important.
Alex Pixies are supposed to sit on top of toadstools and do magic tricks. In this game, you can only do the magic tricks if you're on your feet with the wand.
Very quickly, Hohmann looking at the 4, the 5-7 combination available. And this is going to be a defining moment here for Alex Pagulayan. He's going to have to weather the storm.
That's right, because this combination, that's a shot involving the low ball, and in this case, the brown 7. And the natural angle takes the orange across towards the other pocket.
I wonder if he can feel this one slipping away.
Blue hair, no time for blue thoughts.
He's been so restless the last few nights here. Talked to him earlier and he just hasn't been able to sleep. His stomach has been in knots.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine that Thorsten Hohmann came into this and some people actually had him at 1,000 to 1. Does he look like 1,000 to 1 outsider to you, Sid?
Batting 1,000. No way. Back in the betting now. Looking the favourite for this world final.
Just slightly overhit that. Would like to have been straighter on this 8, but again, he's looking methodical out there. He's very measured in his approach.
It's an old darts expression, Jim, for people who hit 105 and upwards average. He's missing out. Should very easily, with this amount of side and bottom spin, get good position on the 9. Did I say good, Hohmann? Perfect! Eine kleine pole lesson here.
9 down, 5 racks clear of Pagulayan. 11-6 in favor of the German right now. He'll be breaking in rack 18. And it's got to be difficult to take those negative thoughts out of your mind for young Alex.
Well, all his relatives in the Philippines will be watching. His mum could well be watching in Canada. She took him to Canada, so his schooling would be better. Didn't last so long in school. And you want to find him though, Jim?
Well, right now, Alex has got to feel like he's ice skating uphill. It's going to be a tough road to hoe ahead for him.
Rack 18.
He needs a chance.
Thorsten Hohmann to break, leading by 11 racks
That's
to
all
6.
he can wait for, and he's come with a lot of support, a lot of Canadians here. But Hohmann is orchestrating a symphony that only he can dance to.
Yeah, Holst did the Planet Suites. And he's constructing his own musical with those colored spheres. Lovely style, modified Bustamante type backlift. Hand and eye coordination, par excellence by the German. Powering his way, it looks, towards this world title.
Sorry, Sid, invitingly placed again for Hohmann. This is familiar territory for him right now in this final. At this stage, the nerves are gone. He will have settled in. The only times that they may manifest themselves again is when that finish line starts to appear.
Gold in the hair, oil in the arm. Pretty soon, gelt in the wallet, looks like.
Well, Sid, 65 grand to the winner here, and they say money is life's report card. That'll put a pretty good mark on Thorsten Hohmann's report card, won't it? 65,000.
So we decided not to take Ralph's suggestion of calling him Mr. Quiet. We didn't like the timbre, the sort of resonance of that. So he's the hitman. Hitman Hohmann. Homing in on the world title here in Cardiff. Bobble! Chance for Pagulayan! Pagulayan's fans! Echo him to the table.
He left a lot to do on that 4. A lot of distance. Another look at it, queuing near the cushion. But so close, even after it hit the 7. Well, the time has come for Pagulayan to stand up and be counted now. And that is not his best shot. He's just traveled a little further than he would have liked if he wanted to play this 5 into the middle and to get on the 7 playing it into the corner, and you can see him. That's what happens when you're in a chair for a long period of time.
Touch of the wrists in the elbow.
To look at it right now, Sid, I don't think he's got any choice but to try and check that cue ball and kill it, hold it for position. But the natural angle takes it away from the 7. The brown 7, the next ball on.
Look at the outgoing here. Yes. Top right. Heart of the pocket.
That's as good as he could do. And he's faced with another toughie right here.
Looking for position. On the black 8 now. Middle of the table would be very nice. Bit of right hand side. Top spin.
Had to have it. And look at the position on the 8.
Absolutely. Position on the 9 guaranteed. He can go to anywhere he likes to get this. Deciding to do it back off the cushion. Bottom spin. The Killer Pixie Roadshow is now departing and starting to get up some steam.
11-7, finally poised here, and Pagulayan trying to get back into that deficit. Won't do it like that, Sid.
And awkwardly for Alex, possibly more than awkwardly, possibly tragically for Alex, there's a long shot on the 1.
He could have used a string of about 2 or 3 racks together, but you need a little help from the break to do that.
And so far, the German lad has been the one who has mastered the break shot.
He's got a shot at the 1 here, but it naturally pulls the cue ball on the other side of the table away from where the 2 is. So, you know, these players rarely refuse a shot when it's there, but the positional rewards have to outweigh the risks.
Absolutely. Object in mind is the blue 2. Once this makes it.
Well, that was a good little shot.
Absolutely.
Used the 5 to hold position for the 2, and now he can concentrate solely on this 2 because the natural position takes the cue ball to the 3. But in the break, Sid, he sat in his chair, looking at the floor, staying totally focused.
He said before, in the zone, and sad to say, in Stephen King terms, it would be the dead zone if it keeps like this for little Alex.
Former world #1 Corey Deuel, a very good friend of Alex Pagulayan, and you know he's rooting for Alex, but how do you stop this man?
Well, Lagayans, manacles, maybe a 10 hat, actually clinical. And the confidence. I've often cracked up Strickland when he's under stress or something and sees an easy layout and he's there like a flash. Total confidence in the technique. This kid is playing with total confidence in his own ability.
You know, he looks like a perfect combination between Oliver Ortmann and Ralph Souquet. He plays with a little bit more pace than does Souquet, more akin to Ortmann, but he's got the demeanor of Ralph Souquet with that blank look, total concentration mixed with composure. The full meal deal, this young man.
Absolutely. She thinks so anyway. That's his girlfriend, Isabel.
Nine down, 12-7. Hohmann parading on here in Cardiff.
Well, there it is. I said earlier, the man with sort of mixed feelings. Hohmann going like this. So he has to be in the Mosconi Cup team. And Ralph has got a brilliant record there over the years, since '94, but...
And Alex Pagulayan has to wait for another chance. The chances have been very few, it's fair to say. All he can do is stay positive, be mentally tough, wait, and be ready.
There's not many people can reduce the great Earl Strickland, the reigning champion up till a matter of hours ago, to a sort of shaken Carolina Scarecrow, but he did not look in good shape against this man who took him out 11-4. And the jungle drums have been bashing ever since about the composure and the ice focus of Hohmann.
That's the chance. That's all Alex could do. Wait, watch, and wonder. And the chance has arisen.
Well, I hate to say it, but he might be a bit undernourished because he's been living on inch-long bits of Kit Kat and the odd glass of pop.
Well, he's been having trouble keeping that down as well, Sid. Got sick yesterday. Just a bundle of nervous energy. I mean, he is at the best of times.
That's right.
The 4 presents problems, though. He's looking at it now. So important to leave an angle in pocketing this 2 on the 3 so that he can slide that cue ball over towards that pink 4.
The rally got to start here. There'll be millions of people, even though it's the middle of the night in the Philippines, urging him on.
And now he wants to slide that cue ball right over in behind the 4, Sid. If he could drop onto it where he's looking now.
Time running out for Alex. It's a race to 17. Thorsten wants 5 more chalks to be world champ.
Gotta go. It's just not happening for the Lion right now. Really, Sid, all he can do here is try and feather that cue ball. Either put distance between it or try and just flick it in behind the 6.
But he came to the table wanting to maintain the aggression. Needs to reel back half a dozen racks.
Here he's going to leave it in behind the 8 and put the cue ball on the far cushion. But I'm not too sure that he hasn't left that 4 ball open.
What option would you choose here? Anything aggressive?
Well, the 6 takes the difficult kick shot away. You can see where that 6 is. That's eliminating the easy 1 cushion kick, Sid. So right now, if Torsten can get through to this, he may think about trying to flick it. I wonder if he can get it the other side of the 8. Well, he can.
Around the back of the 8. Feathers it.
Look at the 9.
And almost pots the 9.
Wow. Lots happening there.
But still, even the eyes don't blink. There is not a flicker of emotion. Great shot by Alex.
And I think he's drawn back far enough for the 5 here.
But when it comes to emotion and general demeanor, makes the Roadrunner look like a zombie. Twitchy bundle of nerves and talent in play.
Straighter than he would have liked, but again, he should be able to pull that cue ball back out for the 7. In 9 ball, a 5-game deficit can be overcome very quickly.
That's right, we've seen runs of 5 up to even 10 by Chang, once an Archer, in this very tournament. So Alex, I'm going to say easily, if he gets his talent together, gets focused, and gets that element, everybody, even from Steve Davis down at the lowliest as it were qualifier, says there's a lot of luck in this game.
Well, but you've got to have the skill to make the luck work.
That's the equation. He's got to run some racks. Sharpish on the German.
I think Alex knows he can't afford any more misses now. Open balls have to find pockets. 9 down, 12-8. Pagulayan still in with a fighting chance. The Tornado, Tony Drago, Rico Dix, all the players here. These 2 young stars, the future is in their hands.
Yes, Alex Happy Trigger, 11-6. And absolutely statuesque carved face of the German who's leading.
He just doesn't want to look up at all. A high level of concentration maintained by Thorsten Hohmann right now. What a contrast, not only in personalities, but their approach to the game. Watching Alex before he came out here, obviously just trying to do whatever he can to relax himself. And if it means jumping around and shadow boxing, then that's what you do.
Hopes of winning this title, in danger of becoming mere shadows. Ooh, crowd, his fans trying to will that 9 into the middle bag.
But more importantly, he's not left it for Torsten. But with a 1 finishing so close to the corner pocket. That makes the push out very difficult, even though you can see the full hook. He may kick at this off 2 cushions, and he's got the blue and the brown there, a little wall to try and hide behind. So if he decides to go at this, expect to see it a kick off the 2 cushions right into the 1. That's what he's weighing up right now, Sid. The risks. He's got the 3 and the 6 at the bottom that look awkward. A little bit of an insurance policy there. A lot easier to play this shot 12-8 in front than if you were 12-8 behind.
Absolutely. There might be a slight percentage in favor of aggression here. He leads 12-8, race 17.
He's just gathering himself right now. He wants to be absolutely certain before he plays this that it's the right thing to do in his mind.
And while he weighs that up, former champion Mika Eminen talks over the shot with Niels Feyen.
Ramil Gallego in the background in the red shirt. When have you seen so many players come out to watch a final? Rob McKenna just at the top of your picture.
I've come to see the hitman and his machine-like precision. And they've come to see the ferociously talented Pagulayan, whose brilliance could yet drag him out of the maelstrom.
Well, I don't know whether or not he can get through to this off that side cushion, but I've got a feeling Alex is going to be putting him back in here. He didn't tie the 3 up as he would have liked. And that's exactly what he's doing. Sid, he aired pushing out earlier in this match.
Right, we're going to see another facet of his talent. Thorsten reaches for what Earl Strickland calls the gimmick stick.
Well, we haven't seen Torsten exercise too many jump shots in this tournament, so I can't say that I'm too abreast of how adept he is at this, but we're going to find out. There's no bigger stage with which to play a key shot right now than this. He just threw Alex's chalk. Very close to the 5, and he's going to be bridging over the 6. That can't help him.
So here we go. He's picked the line out. He's now elevated to about 65 degrees. And incoming stabbing shot. Oh, magic! Alex, it may not be your night! Whatever the German tries, it works! You see the jump again.
Hello, Dolly. What a shot from Thorsten Hohmann there. Mark that one down. That could be one to remember. And he's on the 2. Did he leave the 3 available now? He could draw that cue ball, play the 2 to the side pocket here, Sid. Draw the cue ball over the left-hand side, play the billiard from the 3 to deposit the 6 into the corner. That is an option if the 3 doesn't go. But what a jump shot. He looks like the professor playing the student after that little exercise.
Absolutely. A remarkable, consistent performance in all departments of the game by this man.
Well, it's come awry for him here. Look at this. Took the cue ball into the 3. He certainly didn't deserve this, but it's what he's bought. If he can get to that side cushion, he can still attack this 3. But the bad news for Torsten is it doesn't give him position to the 4, even if he gets it. And that's a big if.
So what's the plan, Jim?
He's trying to make this 3, Sid, off the side cushion and the bottom, and try and knock it in.
Load to right-hand side. Well, what a shot. Jim said there might have a lot more work to do on this pink as we see that fabulous shot again
Well, he's left himself in a position as this 3 flies into the corner. One more time. Couldn't have played that shot any better. But Sid, he's got the cue ball into an area where he could bank this 4 into the side pocket.
Well, jump shot, bank, second bank. Alex could be excused for having a very worried expression on his face.
They call Efren Reyes the magician. But if this man gets out of this rack, he's going to be the Wizard's apprentice here.
Goes for the defensive option.
And not a bad option when you can feather the ball like that. Look at what presents itself to Alex Pagulayan. 2 terrific shots from Thorsten Hohmann. And Pagulayan has to find a reply.
Then contact, doesn't want to leave an aggressive shot. He's hitting everything at the moment. Used to be a footballer, played for Everton, called the Golden Vision, Jim. It's another one in the bank for nicknames for this German.
This is a big rack. These tactical battles and who can win them really has the psychological edge. Hohmann enjoys a 4-rack advantage right now.
After the pink. Wants to hide that white.
And that is useful. He's even got that 4 into an area, if it is covered, where he's made the kick a lot tougher. Off that side cushion, Alex is only going to have the top half of the 4 that exposes itself now. And if ever the Lion has had to call on his reserves, it's now.
Here he goes, breaking out the jump stick.
Well, this is surprising. With the 1 over the corner when Torsten elected the jump cue, if Alex is that adept at jumping, this isn't a lot different than the 5 with the 1 over the corner pocket that Hohmann already deposited. Very strange.
Badly needs it. Not so acute an angle, and it could go anywhere now. It could go into the far right or the far left. It's up to him.
Well, Alex was looking for a little help there. He tried to will that 5 off the cushion so that the 6 would block it into the corner. I'm not sure whether it has. Torsten's already had 1 look. And if it's available, he can punch this in, draw the cue ball to the side cushion, and get the cue ball back into the center of the table.
Leads 12-8 in a good position here to make that 39 in a race of 17 for the world crown.
There, did you see the head come up? There, that was a sign of nerves. Instantly he shot that, the head moved, it came up.
See that quite clearly.
Watch his head. As soon as he struck this, the head came up. There is your first sign of nerves from Thorsten Hohmann.
Alex, 2/3 of his body over the table. Got to start the comeback here. Running out of time.
This goes. Plenty of room for that 5 to go by the 6. And he won't be playing it at pace, so that'll make the pocket even that much more generous. He's not as tall as Francisco Bustamante. Mind you, Bustamante almost looks like he'd be pretty good at limbo. The way he contorts himself at times. Alex is a little short of position on this 7.
Bless his spiky blue hair. He's fighting now. Trails by 4.
Well, that was close. You can breathe a sigh of relief.
Nice angle to get position on the 9. Shouldn't have any bother with this 9 for 12-9.
You don't get nicknamed the Lion unless you've got a fighting heart.
Welcome back to World Pool in Cardiff, where this German leads. And me and Jim White have had a stopwatch on him, and he hasn't blinked for 2 minutes, 47 seconds.
Rack 22.
That
Alex
is
Pagulayan
self-control.
to break, trailing by 12 racks tonight.
But he's seen his lead get pegged back from Pagulayan. And if Alex can sort out the break, he can draw even closer and apply the screws. It's just not happening for him, even though he went to the other side of the table.
Come up dry.
Another look at the action, just throws that cue and bends it. All the Filipino stars have got a style to break all their own.
Lovely to watch. But he's got to get some drop action from the break.
Well, he's got a choice here, Sid. He has a 1-8 combination. He could also jack the back end of the cue up and stop the cue ball in behind the 2 and weld Alex behind it. It's either the aggressive option or the defensive option. He's got both.
Right, here's a chance now. Although Alex Pagulayan has not been his vintage, you can say that about a 25-year-old self, he's only trailing by 3 racks. Has the talent to claw back, or I should say roar back, because that's probably what Lions do.
He's got a perfect angle here. The 3 at the bottom right of your picture.
I like the strut. I like that bounce in the step. Like a streetwise hip-hopster. Bouncing round.
Some mistakes have come from Hohmann. And it's down to Pagulayan to put pay to them.
Hairstyle like a hedgehog with a blue rinse. Bouncing round the table. Trying to make the scoreline look more level. 12-9 at the moment.
Well, he willed that cue ball past the 4. Well, that was dangerous. He's been all around the world. He's seen pressure before. Never like this, though. What does the world title mean?
I bet she's got at least a tenner on him. On young Pagulayan.
Kind of betwixt and between here. I think he intended that to the side pocket, and he may end up taking it to the corner now.
Heart of the pocket. Stroking through. Loves it, don't she?
This was an important visit from Alex Pagulayan after the mistake from Thorsten Hohmann. He's got to let him know he's here for the long haul.
Yeah, most Lions don't live on crumbs of Kit Kat, but this one does.
He's going to be stretching here, Sid, so not quite as fluid a motion. This is just going to be able to throw your cue at the 9 here.
Can I get position to 5? Jim, you're a load of use. You're his honorary coach, and you're casting down on the lad.
Pagulayan with a terrific break this time is trying to keep Thorsten Hohmann in his chair.
Looking good for reducing the deficit to 1 rack. Winner break.
Though you'll never see anything change from that man. Robotic.
An Aryan statue. Bobble it! Oh, what an awful mistake!
That's one that Pagulayan will surely live to regret. He had to hit that with a lot of pace, but look at him. What a chance he just threw away there.
So instead of the gap being reduced to 1 in the scoreline, it will almost certainly go to a clear 3 chalks.
But Hohmann's break is a weapon, Sid, and he had a chance to keep it away from him. Now he's turned it right back.
Could be the pivotal moment of the match. Later stages, Alex has let in the German, as Jim says, is breaking like a dream.
Well, the path to victory is always a lot easier when the brain and the arm get in sync, and the 6 ball that Alex Pagulayan missed there. Apparently, Sid, just a little too much to do.
Absolutely, as you say, the pace was the thing. He needed it to get position. Doing that, just lost his line. The power was what took it into the cush with force. There's the reaction. Clatter, bang, wallop! A slaughterous break.
Look at the 2 spinning on the 9. He made the 1. So the 2, the next on, I'm not sure it goes. It doesn't look like it does. But what's the 2-9? That doesn't offer a combination. It looks very close. The 2 does go, Sid.
Yep, there's a 1/4 of an inch air cushion between it and the 9. 1 more rack to the German. Looking on the cards. Also might be a chance of an interesting development of the 9.
He's starting to move a little bit, though. Again, he's jumped off the cue very quickly on that shot. Just a smattering of applause, really. But he intended to get into that cue ball with a lot more bottom and right-hand English than he did. This is a thin cut, and all he has to do is concentrate on making this 3.
Wiped its feet. Seemed to hesitate. Then gravity won.
And now he wants to leave the cue ball in the middle of the table. He needs an angle on the 6 in depositing this 5 into the corner.
Talking about gravity. The gravity of Alex's situation increasing exponentially here. The German has shown 2 signs of extreme tension. 1, a particularly early lift of his chin away from the cue.
Well, Alex has been the master of his own demise in the last couple racks. He already knows he can't give the break away to this man. He's too powerful. Should have been him breaking. You don't have to tell him. 9 down, 14-10.
the moment he's got this break taped. He's getting action from the wing ball, and he's getting good shooting position once the ball stopped their run.
Well, he's got half a chance here at the 2, Sid. Very tough shot, but the action from Hohmann, again, consistent and successful. He doesn't try and do anything. He doesn't try and overpower it. He's put in a lot of time working on that break, rest assured.
Needs now 3 racks to become world champion. Exactly, he plays within, I was going to say limitations, he plays to his talents. And we didn't know about him in the jump cue. When he got it out, he banged in a long 9-foot roll on a 1.
Well, he's going to have to run the cue ball around the angles here. After making this 4, he's going to have to race it around the angles with a lot of side spin and get off that 3rd cushion. That's the only chance he's got. If he can get below the 9, he'll land on the 5.
In the pocket, into the cushion, in and out of the back cushion, perfect!
And that was the shot worthy of a possible world champion. Hohmann perfectly poised again to snatch the 25th rack, Sid. They're there for him. He's just got to keep everything in line.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion weeps tonight. Maybe. Maybe. Elementary, my dear Witchson.
They can't be easy enough right now. On this stage, nothing can be taken for granted.
Looking as solid as the doors of the Bundesbank.
Germany's Thorsten Hohmann starting to open up here against Alex Pagulayan. A break and finish, and what a time to do it.
The great philosopher Nietzsche said the Superman had his destiny in his own hands. For once, the wing ball does not go in. Difficult shot on the 1 for Alex.
He walks away from the table, looks away almost in disgust when nothing falls. He expects that much from himself.
Remember to race to 17. 15. And it's not easy for Alex. And a dolly up. 16-10 coming up in short order.
Well, a lot of work to go before 16 is on the score sheet here, Sid. It's not the easiest table that confronts Hohmann right now, but Pagulayan would rather be at it than in his chair.
Next protocol, the blow to Alex. Looking more at the floor than at the action.
What Hohmann has to concentrate on now is staying still. All those hours of practice, they're about fundamentals and a sound technique and delivery of that cue.
So keep your eyes glued on the tilt of that Tintin haircut, because that's where you'll see it magnified if he comes off the cue too early.
What an exceptional player he is.
Absolutely. Looks like a beach boy. And that looks like where he's putting Alex. Halfway up the beach near the old kelp.
There'll be no more sliding in under the radar screen for Thorsten Hohmann.
That's what he said. You've heard about the big guys, the Ortmans. And the Suke's have been in their shadow for a long time, but I'm good. The world's seeing the shadows disappear. Class act from Germany.
Sid, if I'm not mistaken, he's 24 years of age as well.
Yep.
Quietly,
Well, the
please.
future in 9-ball is in great hands, isn't it?
Is it ever? Some shots stout as Saxony armor, some as delicate as Dresden, China.
16-10. Thorsten Hohmann can taste it. He can feel it, and the crowd sense it. One rack away, the most important rack Thorsten Hohmann has played in his young career, and Isabel knows it too.
That's right, jigging in anticipation, blowing her hand. There could be a few lager suds being drunk by German throats tonight in Cardiff.
Rack 27.
The smiles have been few and far between from Hohmann, win or lose. We haven't seen him lose this year, but I'll wager you'll see a smile if he finds that 17th rack.
Well, if it goes according to generally, he'll get at least one ball from the break. He's studied the break shot. The weather conditions are damp. His table has been breaking bad out when it is damp outside, like in midweek.
He's got a shot at the one, Sid.
That's right, this is the layout for the world title.
Is this the beginning? Is the victory parade at hand?
Da, 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 da.
The adrenaline must be flowing through his veins right now. Everything has to be just anxiety magnified. Straighter on this too. He needed an angle.
Blowing on the hands so they're not nasty and sweaty when she chokes them around his neck.
It's been some kind of performance, but he's still got to dot the I's and cross the T's.
Ah!
Tried to do too much, Sid. He didn't have the angle there. But look at how they've run for him. Offers the hand in apology.
Absolutely.
But this could well be Thorsten Hohmann's night.
Alex boogies slowly round the table.
He's weighing up the escape routes, and it's going to be a kick off the bottom cushion and left to chance. Where's it going to run?
Nearly into the hole, but it's landed in direct line with the wide ball. And do we see it? Last one bit of emotion, certainly do from her, his girlfriend. He ran to the tail almost. He realized its break starts with an easy blow too.
Well, Sid, if he can draw this, if he's just got enough angle to draw it past the 5 to play the red 3 top right, or top left as we see it on our screen, but he's got to get that cue ball between that gap. If it's straight, you may see him try and play the same sort of shot that he just tried a minute ago and force it. Now it looks to me like he can play that. Draw it right back between the 4 and the 5 and play the red top left as we see it. No, he's forcing it. He had a little angle there. Didn't look like it.
To a beautiful position. Thorsten Hohmann.
If anything, he forced it too much.
Yep.
Dead straight on this 3.
He took out Earl Strickland the whole day, 11-4. His break shot has been heavy and accurate and true. He's been getting a shot generally after the break. Too powerful on the day too focused for Pagulayan in this final.
His stroke has been sound. His mental approach has been sound.
And we're going to hear the sound of some very happy German fans.
Well, the sweeter the berry, the sweeter the wine. And Thorsten Hohmann will be toasting the biggest title in the world in just a few seconds. The anticipation.
That's the word.
Just gathers himself, recomposes
She
himself.
won't look. She's ducked behind our barrier at that end. But he has still got his A-game face on. Looks like a Teutonic knight riding against the baddies. She's watching now because she knows these two are easy. So here we have it. Alex Pagulayan 10. Thorsten Hohmann of Germany needs this 9 to take the World Pool Championship.
Listen for the sound! Another world title to Germany. Thorsten Hohmann, 17-10 over the Lion, Alex Pagulayan. Hats off to Pagulayan, but it's Thorsten Hohmann's night here in Cardiff.
So, confirmation of the result and a surprise champion here in Cardiff. Thorsten Hohmann of Germany, a 17-10 victory over Alex Pagulayan, the German, the new champion. Thanks for joining us as we brought you all the action from the World Pool Championship 2003 in Cardiff. We'll see you next time.